That's well done. You have made it through to another week. What kind of week have you had? I've had a really interesting week. I give thanks for it being Saturday. I just find that Sundays become Mondays, then Mondays become Saturdays, and then January becomes April. I'm just finding that the time is going very, very quickly. But today's show is entitled Music to My Ears. The quote for today goes simply like this: where words fail, music speaks. Where words fail, music speaks. That's the quote for today. And we are going to be unpacking exactly what that means throughout the show, so stay tuned in. So welcome to Let's Talk Show Live on the Chalk Hill Community Radio Station. The Chalk Hill Community Radio Station is all about keeping the community connected. Today's show is sponsored by Lloyd Montague of Forever Living. Guys, when was the last time you did something for the first time? And of course, have you been living your best life? Well, it's a Let's Talk show where anything can happen, and Omawala.
It usually does.
Oh, he's getting real good at this. He's getting real. Oh, I think that's it. Like I think we had, and let's say that one more time. So it's Let's Talk show live where anything can happen, and Omawala.
It usually does.
Yeah, that's better. I can hear you. I think your mic was down before then. I was saying Omawala's getting good at this, isn't he? I think he would be very impressed. So thank you for joining as our co-host today. But Let's Talk show, of course, is the real talk show. So let me go with, when was the last time you did something for the first time? Well, let me go with you first, because I know that I've done something. Have you done anything new?
Yeah, I have actually. I was supporting a friend of mine in court, and basically I ended up being her assistant, organising and helping her with the papers going into court and ensuring that she's ready, prompting her and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, she didn't have a lot of support, so that was the first time I've actually been in a court with the judge there and the other side and supporting a friend to that level. You know, I've been to cases where, you know, you're just listening, but next thing I'm finding myself being the brief, if you like.
Did you get one of those wigs?
Huh?
Did you get one of those wigs?
Well, fortunately, we don't do that. You know, we don't do wigs. We don't do wigs, you know. But that's for the barrister, you see. I'm not, not quite there yet. Yeah, and definitely the wig thing ain't gonna work.
Oh, that's good. That's interesting. I didn't even realise that you were that involved. I know that you were supporting.
Yeah.
But that's interesting because with every experience, I think there is definitely something new to learn.
It was brilliant. It was brilliant. In fact, the first day I was sort of in the background, but then we went back and helped her to prepare for the second day. Make sure her points are nice and concise and everything like that, because you know when you're dealing with these institutions, they don't want to hear the flannel, they just want points. But it was a really good experience. I really enjoyed it, and helping brothers and sisters is the way to go, because you learn from the experience as well, So big up, sis. It was a pleasure being in your corner with you.
Do you know what? Turn around, I love that because this morning I had a real sense of this feeling of unity, that I am because we are, all of that kind of thing, and how working together is so important, and support is so important, and it encourages others to kind of grow strength, and so yeah, that's good. I like that for the first time that you did that. Wonderful, I like that. So my thing that I did was slightly different, as you will know. So back in my heyday, I was very much an athlete of many forms, and one of those, just one of the many, was walking. And I used to walk easily 3 miles a day, and it was something I absolutely loved. I looked forward to it. I kind of done it for leisure, I done it for, emotional health and well-being and all of that kind of stuff. And on Tuesday, you love it. On Tuesday, I joined the Nines Health and Fitness Club.
Big up Nines.
Big up Nines. And I joined yourself as well. and I walked for the first time in years. And I have to say, it really was an experience. And it's funny because do you remember it was really, really raining heavily?
Yeah, on the way there.
On the way, it's really raining heavily. And I remember saying to you, it's either not going to be raining in that area, which probably sounded a bit odd initially.
No, I knew exactly.
Did you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's either not going to be raining in that area, or when we get there, it is going to stop raining.
Yeah.
I didn't fancy my first walk being a walk in the rain.
You'd have been drenched.
I'd have been drenched.
It was so much rain coming down. Really.
Yeah, so, and I know that Nines would make me walk in the rain. That's what we call it, outside in the rain. He would have made us walk in the rain, and I didn't really want to be experiencing my first walk in the rain. But I just thought it was really, really wonderful. The great thing about doing new things, or kind of redoing some of the things that you enjoyed doing before, it just kind of breaks up what could be a very challenging week. And sometimes our weeks are very challenging.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are expected things that happen, and it just shifts us from one place to the next, and it just becomes the first day of the rest of your life, and that's a different outlook. And so for me, this week was one of those heavy, challenging weeks of just undescribable trauma. And so to that end, I want to give thanks and gratitude to my children. I want to talk about my eldest son Xavier, who was the first to make me a mother, and then he's the first now to have made me a grandmother, and then to my youngest son, who made me a woman. They have different roles. They are both instrumental in my life, and then of course we have the amazing Amari, who is like Tapanara. So yes, I want to give some gratitude to that scenario of parenting, and I also want to give some gratitude to your talk of supporting and giving support. So I am very attached to. I feel very attached to Spirit today. I feel really excited about the fact that here at the Let's Talk show and on the Chalkfield Community Radio Station, we allow people to tell their stories. And when they tell stories, it means they share what's happening for them on their heart. It also informs its history, and it allows for those who didn't know to know. And I'm sitting in that space today, and I'm super excited about our two wonderful guests who I have joining me throughout the show today. I do want to send a big shout out to those who are tuning in on the live stream. It's so wonderful to have you here. Yeah. And a big shout out to Nico TV.
Big up Nico TV.
Big up Nico TV. Right. So yeah, today's a day of me really talking about gratitude and community, unity, and just feeling very African-centred today. And so I'm going to start with Untold Stories by Roger Banks. So, Kitty, good morning. I need you to switch over here real quick for me, because we are actually live now. I'm so sorry. So you take your seat there.
Let's Kitty, yeah.
So fix yourself nicely. Did I put some water for you? Okay. So if you just move yourself a little bit so the cameras are... No, you've covered it up. And then Oliver will position you. Position right. What is it doing?
Tilt you this way.
I was going to fix that. Why someone not doing that?
I think he's screwing in at the top.
You look absolutely lovely.
You can get good work there, being a Stormzy double. You can get good work.
They say look at Stormzy.
Yeah. Yes. Stormzy tribute, man. You never know, man. My man there is a singer.
He's a rapper.
Yeah.
You're a rapper.
Come on.
Nah.
Doesn't matter.
I'll be the manager, just, you know.
Yeah, you don't have to be
Yeah.
Stormzy.
That's
You
what
don't
I'm
have to rap. You don't have to be a Stormzy.
Just stand there.
Just
stand there.
Yeah.
Lip sync, you know.
Eleanor makes my jewellery. Big shouts out to Eleanor if you're looking. Thank you for my adornment.
Whoa.
Someone makes my jewellery. So welcome, Kitty, after this time, isn't it? It's always the right time, isn't it? When it's the time, it's the right time.
Yes. Ricky from JP is always saying, oh, you've got something, you've got it.
Oh, is it? Oh, bless him. Let's give him a shout out. He's so
Whether he
sweet.
sees it or not.
Yeah, but this is on WhatsApp now.
Amen. Amen.
We can't have all things all at the same time, is it? So your story's quite extensive, isn't it?
You think?
I think so. Lots to discuss. But I love hearing other people's stories, so I'm super excited. Because obviously I've seen you perform, and so it would be nice to hear your story. Yeah, so...
Do you have a moment before we finish like as well? Just for a quick snap.
Yeah, so Ricky, so
Do we got
Right.
time for a snap?
Just
we've got time for a snack.
Yes.
Snap.
Oh,
Quick snap. So you're all looking this way.
just fixing.
Spinning around, yeah.
Okay, ready?
Velvet
That's
stick.
it. There we go. Wonderful. Thank you.
Right. So, Kitty, I'm sure you're probably thinking what's it all going to be about, but it really is just going to be a conversation about me having a chat with you. Omwale is my co-host and my partner. So you've got two for the price of one.
Or buy one, get one.
Buy one, get one.
Two to go, they've got
And we don't even do Iceland. And so guys, in the studio everything gets picked up, so if you've got your phones on or anything like that, it will be heard. And I say that as I try to turn my phone.
It's so calm, very about you singing it, right?
Hey?
Just so-
Yeah. I'm going to put the mics back on.
Tokyo Community Radio. Check out our website for the latest news and reviews. We are always looking for new presenters. If you're interested, please contact Tokyo Community Radio at gmail.com.
Oh, I don't want that playing quite yet. How did that just come off? Just hold for a second. Let's just stop that. Let's stop that. Okay, so the Gremlins are of course in the studio. But guys, if you have just joined us, it is the Let's Talk Show Live. It's a Chalk Hill community radio station. My co-host today, and special co-host actually, is Brother Omwale. He's back in the studio with us today. Today's show is entitled Music to My Ears, and the quote goes simply like this. Where words fail, music speaks. Where words fail, music speaks. And I really felt that Untold Stories by Roger Banton, not just because I adore so many of his tracks, but because that's kind of where I am today. So many stories untold. And I'm in the celebration of life and all kinds of things. Right now, that makes me feel good. It's about a feel-good day. Even though there's no sun outside, there is always sunshine in the studio. So, doing the shows on a Saturday morning are always quite interesting because it's really dependent on what you did on Friday night. And last night on Wally, where were we?
We were at the bridge, what's it called?
The bridge, the Kilburn
The
Bridge.
Kilburn Bridge, enjoying three wonderful brothers, Earth Strongs. Big E, or little or medium size E.
The big E,
I would
the
say
big birthday bash.
Yeah, the big 6-0 for E. The two other brothers, I
Well, actually,
don't
E
remember.
doesn't say 6-0. He says triple 20.
Okay, he plays darts, yeah?
Triple 20.
Okay, yes. All
So
right.
it's he, and it was his friend Lenny, and also Stephen, who is affectionately known as DJ Tibbs. And Tibbs sometimes plays at
He
karaoke.
played well.
He plays well, and cake. The cake was like a tower.
Cake was nice.
Cake was nice, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know with cake, when I go to a party, I always say I'm going to take the cake home and have it with peppermint tea. No, the cake didn't reach home. Cake never reached home. So to say that we've had only a few hours sleep, but big shouts out to Big E. Thank you for the invite.
Wonderful evening.
Wonderful session. Shouts out to Flex, who come up and helped.
Big up Flex.
Got up and helped out with the mic, and Nems, of course, that was brilliant.
Yeah.
Also, we celebrated Sarah's birthday.
Yeah,
Sarah's birthday. Sarah's birthday on Thursday. It's her birthday to Sarah. So today I'm going to be celebrating a very instrumental elder in my life. At the age of 10 years old, she adopted me and became my new mother. And today she's celebrating her 95th birthday.
Wow.
95th birthday. So to the woman who became my mother and the woman who became Nana to my children, Nana Holder, happy birthday. And I look forward to seeing you in a few hours' time. And thank you for the many years that you cared for me as your daughter in the absence of my own birth mother. What a wonderful thing to do, and I thank you from the seat of my soul. I could not have been placed with a more affectionate, strong, African-centred woman who knew what she wanted, said what she wanted, said what she meant what she said, and kept everybody in order. She kept us in order. She never played when it came to cricket. Don't even talk to her when cricket's on. She had the remote control.
Standard Bajan.
Standard. She done cricket. She also liked wrestling. You know those moms that like the wrestling.
Mick McManus and Big
Remember those
Daddy and
ones?
Clyde.
Yeah, but Mum took it far. Mum was still watching. Might still be watching. What are the ones that come on now? The
other ones,
anyway, the WWW somethings or whatever. And she watched those. And I remember the boys when they were younger, they used to sit next to her and watch it. So Nana Holder, Mum, thank you so much. I of course am who I am as a result of who you helped me to be as a mother figure. Thank you so much. Okay, so are you good to go?
We're good to go.
Good to go. So sometimes I meet people along the way, and sometimes people say, "Oh, you should meet so and so," or sometimes I actually meet the person, and then it's not for a year or 2 years until I actually get to really connect with that person and get the person to come on the show. And today's guest is no different, to be honest. A couple of people said, "Oh, you should really meet so and so. Have you met so and so? She would be a great guest." And I hear from her also this morning that people have said the same about me. But everything is in divine order. And everything in its right time. So today, this morning, I'm really super excited to invite to the Let's Talk show my special guest, Kitty Corbin. Kitty has a unique songstress style. She's dynamic and versatile, inspires and uplifts the audiences with her dulcet tones and commanding voice. Kitty Corbin, good morning and welcome to the Let's Talk show.
Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Sister Kitty.
I was going to say, that voice is just low and soulful. If you could just bring it right up as if you're singing the song, because I want our guests to be able to hear you. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Rising. You were looking absolutely wonderful.
To yourself, thank you.
So, I know I do the big glasses, I love you. I had some like that, you know. When you have a big square pair of glasses, nothing beats it except my girl.
My grandson said I look geeky.
Oh, really? Geeks are good. I'm one of those, particularly, you like geeks, don't you?
Fascinated by geeks. They're just wonderful.
Yeah. I don't know, everyone's voice is people's talking from their
Sorry.
collarbone instead of
Yeah,
from their...
yeah.
Is
It's
it
kind of
up too late?
I was changing my image. Well, this is a family show.
It's a family show. Okay, so that means he's going to just straighten up himself a bit more. Fantastic.
Yeah,
So,
they're good to go.
that's better. That's wonderful. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. I've seen you perform. I don't know so much about your background, but before we start talking about your career as a singer, Just tell us a little bit about your background. Where are you from? What do you like doing, etc., etc.
Oh, okay. I'm Kitty Corbin, I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm CEO for Perfect Productions, also Delicate Promotions. I'm from North West representing.
Oh, you're from North Wales?
I'm from North Wales, yeah, of
Oh.
course. I'm very proud of it. I've been in North West since 1976.
How hungry?
Yeah. I remember when the Jubilee clock was erected.
Really?
77 Jubilee, yeah.
Fantastic.
So I've been in the community with an NHS background in that sense. And then I woke up one day and said, I'm tired of this. I want to be a singer. So I left my job after 24 years.
Love it.
And I went and studied at the British Academy of Music. And passed with merits and distinctions and so forth. So I was doing producing, writing, reading music, and that sort of formula, you know. And I entered a competition at BBMC.
So let's stop there. Let's not tell them the whole story, because I want to go back to the fact that you were born and raised in northwest London. I love that, because so was I. But you were saying that actually you were working in the NHS, and then you just decided actually one day I don't want to. Tell us what it was like working in the NHS.
I started, probably like in the 80s, and it just became mundane. I did my best, and I would always be willing to be helpful. And when I see my people come in, I'm giving them the VIP treatment.
Nice.
And I just look after everyone, because I'm a very caring. I'm a Levi, a Cancerian, so I'm a typical family oriented, very loving. And I don't care how you feel about things. So I be careful what I say and how I say. You know, we have to be mindful of our words.
Yeah, I love that, because one of the reasons I structured that is that both myself and Omwani, who will probably tell you his area of interest specifically, is that very much interested in kind of the, when I say the National Health Service, it's because I believe that we really are the National Health Service, right, as a community. And, you know, there was a time when people were coming out and clapping on the doorstep at 8 o'clock, and all good for them, but the following morning you would see newspaper articles, and there would be nobody in those articles that really looks like us. So who were we clapping for then, if it was not a fair depiction of the people that worked there? So yeah, so it's important to recognise people like yourselves and our parents, etc., that have worked there. And also we're looking at inequalities or equity, whichever, around how our people are treated as a community. And you know, you've spoken about how you take time to kind of hear what people are saying, and you're thoughtful and empathetic. So that's kind of why I was so interested in that. And that can be draining, right? It can be draining.
Can I just inquire, first of all, your people, are they from Jamaica or?
I am half Shinny and half Bajan.
Oh, wow.
And I spent my first 8 years in Trinidad, and I came back. I was living with my grandparents and 2 cousins.
Nice.
Out there, yeah. Best time of my life. Best.
And then
So you were born in Trinidad, or you lived in Trinidad?
I was born here, and I'm from Tottenham originally.
Those are my side. Which part of Tottenham?
Literally by Broad Lane.
Okay.
And then
Right, do you remember Maggie's, the shop?
No,
Okay, Broad
my
Lane.
mom sent me when I was about 18 months.
Oh, right, okay.
So I was
Okay.
76.
See.
Yeah.
Okay. What I wanted to ask, what area of the NHS were you in?
I started at GP surgeries, and then I went to A&E at Central Middlesex.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So I was right in the heart of it.
Right.
Saw it all, and you know, sometimes really, you know, but I learned to leave it at the door. Don't take it, because I will take it.
Yeah, that's a challenge, isn't it? Separating your professional from your your life, because when you're somebody who's empathetic, who's understanding, who's caring, it's hard to just go.
Switch off.
It's not like the bookshop where you say, well, all the books are on the shelf and the till's locked. I'm going home. You don't start wondering whether one of the books will fall off the shelf or they'd be injured by the time you got back. So nice. So originally from Tottenham, half Trini, half Bajan. Well, my Bajan, whether we have that you here or. All right.
Can I say happy birthday to
You
you?
can say happy birthday. You can say
That's a
happy birthday.
standard Bajan, isn't it? Holder. That is that.
Really cool. From Christchurch.
Oh, right, there's a Christchurch, you sure. I can find out though. So that's Kitty Corbin, half Bayesian, half Trini. Started off in Tottenham, came to North West London, had the pleasure of not living in the UK. How wonderful. What do you recall? You said it was your best time. What do you recall of that time?
Time with my grandmother. If I could go back, I would give anything just to have a day, an hour with her, and just sit with her. Her food was just out of this world. There's no one that could cook like her.
Flying fish.
And she cooked everything. No, this was the mother's side.
Oh, your Trini side.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't meet my granny on my father's side, but I have her bracelet. Right with, But just being with my grandmother, and she would, everything that she told me, I still remember, and I bring it forward in my life, and I use it as a principle and as a guideline, and to just remember that she told me for a reason.
Yeah. Similar to you, I was born in this place,
Yes.
and I went back to St. Vincent.
She from St. Vincent.
Ah,
Yes.
Hold on.
that's family, man. Come on. Yeah, and some of my greatest moments was with my grandmother as well, in the porch, telling us stories. It was beautiful. And my granny's lap was my domain. My brother and sister can't go nowhere near that because I was the last one and I was spoiled rotten by my granny. So her lap was my domain. Don't mess, But the memories, they were grounded. They were good grounding for life.
Yes.
Just connecting with your culture at such an early age and coming back to an environment like this.
Wow. It was a nightmare. It really should be. To see how people were. I mean, okay, fair enough. They did their best and did everything for us.
Yeah.
And they sort of like sheltered us, We couldn't play with neighbours.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then to come here and find,
Culture.
spiteful and nasty.
Yeah.
Jealousy and stuff like that. I didn't encounter those things.
Yes.
So I had to learn things the
energy.
hard way. I was really thrown in at the deep end, and I had to learn to swim quick. I was bullied at school and all sorts of things, but I had to stand my ground and be myself and know what I represent and stand for.
The reason I asked that as a first question, it might seem like an obvious one, but a lot of times we see people and go, oh, we heard that person's voice, their voice is amazing, or you see the way they read their stories, they're great at, but we don't actually know the building blocks, because we don't just arrive at who we are now, right? So I talk about that time of being adopted by this wonderful woman. It could have been a very different story. So there go I, the grace of this woman, right? And how tragedy can turn into something beautiful.
That's right.
So you've now come and you've had to kind of get used to the UK. It's a bit of a culture shock, despite the fact that you were born here, and you've got to understand a different way of how people live, because that tells us the basis of who Kitty Corbin is.
Okay.
Before we go on to the fact that I know that you sing and all of that wonderful stuff. So I know you said you gave up work in the NHS and decided you were going to be a singer. Were you kind of doing some singing before anyway?
Oh.
You weren't?
I weren't, no.
When did you discover your voice, literally? Then?
I was working in housing at that point, and we're having a fight break. My colleague said, oh, well, I was singing something, and she goes, you've got a really nice voice. I'm like, okay. So what we started to do, we used to go down to Daddy Vigo shopping Grove for Wesley Soul. It was amazing. It was a father to all of us. And I joined People's Feminine Touch, which was his sound. And we started doing that as well, because I'm originally from a DJ background.
Right.
I was the first female in Northwest.
Okay.
Playing the soul and stuff, Grey grooves and that lot. And then singing local little bits and pieces, but I wasn't really doing it.
Right.
So that's interesting though. So you're outside having outside the NHS building that you're having your break, and you just start singing as you do, and someone says, because what happens with me, people think I can sing. Apparently I look like I can sing, right? And then I start singing, and they go, no, maybe a little bit of practice. But you were just saying, you were just out having a smoke, and somebody heard your voice. And before that time, you hadn't even thought about singing. You just like.
And no family members, friends, colleagues said, prior to that?
No, I mean, I went to church with my late mother. We used to go to Top Road.
Right. I was
So
wondering
I
about
was-
the churchical side of things, if
Yeah.
that's where.
From Granny, from back in Trinidad, go to church with Granny. And then going with the mother.
Right.
I joined the choir because I love singing, but I didn't know that I didn't think
Mhm.
I had anything special. I even got a glass breaking voice, and it was just lack of confidence really.
Yeah,
Mm.
But I found, since I actually went into it, this is actually the best thing that I can do.
Mm.
Love it.
I put my hands at other things and I have
Yes,
other much on my
yes.
belt. But this comes so
Yeah, man,
natural.
you found the passion. Yeah.
I love that because last week we had Basil Mead from the London Community Gospel Choir,
Ah,
and he gave me a bit of a singing lesson actually on air, so you missed that one, that was quite good. And then he did some singing with us at the end, and I just thought singing is such a beautiful gift to be able to sing, whether you can sing or not sing, whatever that means. You know, whether you're a recording artist or not a recording artist, singing is such a beautiful way of expressing an emotion, of telling a story, of recapturing history, it being mood altering. So I love it. So thank you.
Good therapy as
Yeah.
well.
yes.
You know, just even to just the outlet, just to get things out.
Escapism.
Yeah,
Yes.
you know, it's really.
Okie dokie. So about 2009 was this that you decided actually I'm going to be a singer. I'm just gonna. Did you ease out? Did you just go? I'm just going all out.
I just went right in.
Wow.
Just went right in.
So you studied at the British Academy of Music, is that right?
Yes.
Wait, is that in Marylebone Road? Is that the one in Marylebone
No,
Road?
this one was in Milan.
Okay.
Actually, Ed Sheeran and Rita Ora studied there as well.
Mm.
East
So
London.
they've got a good reputation,
And what was that like?
I was the granny in the place. I was the oldest, one of the oldest. So they were all like my children, and I had them under my wing. So they come to me, kitty, kitty, kitty. But we formed bands and did live stuff, and it was good.
No.
That's great.
It was good.
Because that shows us you can change your life at any time you want. I advocate.
Absolutely.
You can any time you can just go. I'm going to not do that anymore,
Yeah.
and I'm going to do this now.
I'm
But
gonna
all the other,
improve. Yes.
yeah, but all the other stuff, it shapes you, though. You know, it shapes you for what
To
you're
a
gonna.
point.
Yeah.
To
Yeah,
stage
to
in your
read,
life,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah. So even you probably even got some transferable skills from working in the
All the
NHS,
stuff,
yeah, and
yeah.
all of the other stuff, and your experience of going to and from the Caribbean and ending up here. So so you got some good grades, merits, distinctions.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, level 5 or 6 on the vocals and stuff. Yeah.
I love that. It's interesting, isn't it, how you've just gone from doing one thing and suddenly you're just cracking out these amazing results in music, which is probably what you could have been doing
Long time.
had you have known before.
I didn't have the right people around me
Yeah.
to give me that encouragement.
Mm.
So I think if I had gone for it, would have been like 10 years before. I would have met Dennis Brown, and,
Oh.
things like that. That
Wow.
if I could go back in time, it would be
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but we say everything and it's time, isn't it? And so we know not. So tell us though about your very first performance. Can you recall your first performance?
I did a performance. It was a community in the precinct in Stonebridge,
Oh really?
and I sang Sunshine Anderson.
Well, if you're going to start anywhere, you start in the precinct in Stonebridge.
Right outside my house, yeah.
And how did that go down?
It was good. I mean, I didn't feel shy. I was confident. I did it, and I got on a reaction. But I was doing soul. I just started with soul, and then
Was soul a genre that you enjoyed anyway, or you just thought that? Because I always think, how do people know which kind of voice they have? Do they have a rare groove voice? Do they have a reggae voice? Or is it not that? Is it just you choose a genre and your voice will fit into, I don't know, maybe you could tell me.
for me, I grew up on the reggae back home with my uncle, my aunt's husband. So the Slim Smith, the Delroy Wilsons, and that sort of stuff. I was in there, and then when I came over here, I got into the soul, and the soul got even deeper. So
So soul got into you.
yeah, I'm a soul searching sister.
Mm.
So that's my handle. So soul for me is my deepest. So Nita Baker, Gladys, Marifa,
Wow.
deep into Leroy Hudson, Willie Hutch. I'm down in there, you know what I mean? And people say to me, I sing like I got jazz, and jazz isn't my favourite genre,
Okay.
but that's what comes out.
Yeah.
Nice.
What can I say?
Reggae.
They're all intricately
Entwined.
linked anyway.
Yeah.
Jazz, the soul, you know, and all the other things that come from soul,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
But interesting. So reggae music. So did you do any reggae? Did you sing any more?
No. After
Okay.
I did some Northern Soul stuff. I started doing that as well with Ian Levine. He's like the godfather, like Simon Cowell is of punk rock, whatever they call it. You know, so I did a couple of music like that. That was quite fun. But it's like Motown kind of.
Right.
So I
Right.
used to listen to Dinah Ross and the Supremes, and, you know, Smokey Robinson. So
Yes,
it wasn't
yes.
unfamiliar to me. So I just went in and did some of that.
Okay.
But the reggae just sort of just like,
Oh wow.
it just,
Because I think for me, reggae is my first love.
okay.
And that might well be because I grew up in a household where it was reggae. But there's something about reggae music. I went through a phase as well where it was a soul, it was rare groove, it was these all-night parties, all rare groove. You might get one or two reggae songs, but that's never been doing my show. I try and think of different songs for the playlist. It's generally reggae is just going to pop up however much I fight it. And is reggae your first love?
Absolutely, absolutely. For me, it was also the cultural element because obviously Rastafari. And I noticed you referred to yourself as Levi earlier on. Is that you have like a Rastafari connection?
No, I wouldn't say I'm connected in it, but I'm aware of it.
Right.
And I respect it.
Mm-hmm,
And I see the movement, you know. So
yeah. Well, for me, that was the pull for me, the cultural content, you know, from many artists, culture, you know, you name them,
Oh,
the
culture.
Diamonds, yeah.
Joseph Hill.
Yeah.
Mighty
Uh-huh.
Diamonds.
Yeah, you know, those people, you know, and they come with a message, you know what I'm saying? Bunny Wailer, you know, the Wailers period,
Yes.
you know, that for me, it connected with my journey to be a reborn African, if you like. Like I said, when we came to this place, it was like, what on earth is this? And it took you time to kind of deal with all the stuff and then to kind of reclaim who you are. So reggae music helps a lot,
Through that period.
you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Nice. I mean, I still love me some soul and some reggae.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can just get all lost in
Yeah, when you drop some artists there, Gladys Knight, oh gosh, oh gosh, wow.
Still going strong. Young Warwick. Yeah. I love
Yes.
it.
Yeah, I saw her singing the other day, like well up in her age and singing, and that voice is just
Yeah.
the same. How wonderful. Guys, if you've just joined us, it is, of course, the Chalk Hill Community Radio Station. So Let's Talk Show live with the Girl Blaze, and our special guest host today is Brother Omwale. The show today is entitled Music to My Ears, and the quote goes simply like this. Where words fail, music speaks. It's just a commonality, right? Where words fail, music speaks. And so our special guest today, our first guest today, is Kitty Corbin. She talks about a wonderful childhood. She talks about singing first in Stonebridge Precinct. I think that in itself is amazing. She talks about a wonderful childhood with her grandmother. She talks about her cultural heritage being of Trinidadian origin and also of Asian origin. How fantastic. Kitty started working in the NHS, started off in the GP practices, and then went to A&E. Now, all of you that live in North West London will know if you had to go through A&E, Central Middlesex, then you know exactly what Kitty is talking about. And whilst outside having a break, she decided to sing, as you do, and her colleague said, actually, I think you have a wonderful voice. That led her to think about her music career, and she jumped straight in it. She didn't do a song or two, she jumped straight in it, and she also went on to study music and was getting some amazing results. Kitty's here with us in the studio today, and I'm super excited. So Kitty, you also did a performance at the Theorem, or it's called the BBMC, and that was part of the competition, right?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yes. The late TJ, rest in peace. We put on an event. D-Bass Diane. They got the
Shout out to Diane.
Of course.
Big up Diane.
Yes,
Yeah, we love Diane.
Yeah. And I entered the competition, I sang Tonight Is the Night. I sang No More Rain by Angie Stone.
Okay.
And I got through to the finals, and I actually came second.
Fantastic.
Prize, and it led to recording Golden Rule.
And was that quite soon after you embarked on your singing career? Was this some time now you've been doing some?
Well, that was actually before, and then I went to study. So yeah, the time
Oh, wow.
scale. Yeah, the
So that was
time
even
scale.
before you really kind of got into it.
Yeah, I joined this band. We used to with Sifu and Kung Fu, and the drummer was Electric, who was Twinkle Brothers drummer, and Paulette Coke, she was a keyboard player as well. And we used to go into the basement and we just rehearse old songs. It was amazing, and that was my first connection and closeness with the band. So I learned there, and then because to work with a band is not easy. You know, you got to think about your lyrics, you got to think about your timing and your melody and all those elements into one, and you've got to be on point. So I learned, and from there I just grew. You know.
That's interesting because when you see people sing, as a consumer or somebody who's bought a ticket, you're just about waving your hand up and rocking to or screaming or doing whatever it is you do when you see your artist, right? You don't so much think about, oh, they must have been rehearsing all day, or they've been travelling all day, or it must be a lot to put everything together. You don't. You just buy your ticket. You go.
That's the end of it. You don't know what I want.
You get your little pack of peanuts and a little drink, and you just try and get to the front of the stage, or backstage, if even that. So let's talk about A Golden Rule, produced by Sister Woman. Is it all
reggae, all female?
Yeah. So what tell us about that time?
That was a production with D Bass, Caroline Rhythm Queen on the keys, Valerie Skeets on the guitar, Zion on the drums, and they did that production. It had Don Ricardo, it had Chesedek, it had quite King J, a couple of other artists was there, and Golden Rule was my piece on that rhythm.
Fabulous, guys. Listen, I was so excited about this morning because even though I haven't had enough sleep, I forgot to say, if you want to get involved in the show today, it's 07956 548 781. It's 07956 548 781. And that's the number if you want to get involved. Do send me a WhatsApp message or send me a text message. I look forward to hearing when was the last time you did something for the first time, and if you are living your best life. If you have any comments or messages or questions for our guests, do give us a text. You were also nominated in 2011 for the BRIA. Tell me about that, for the best newcomer.
Yeah, British Reggae Industry Awards.
Okay.
And I got nominated for newcomer, and that smacked me in the gut. I'm like, really? Oh, so you know that I'm doing stuff, you know? So that was really nice. You know, that gave me a little boost in the sense that, you know, what I'm doing, people are hearing and recognising it. So I was very grateful. I didn't have to win. Nominating was good enough.
Oh, bless you. That is wonderful. And I love people's humbleness because you're surprised that people even know that you're out there, right? You're like, do people know about me?
It's been a while, but they know me as a DJ, so they was.
Oh, I see. So you should DJ. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I started on Girls FM with Fergie, Ronald Ferguson, and did.
Can I just hold for there? So Ronald Ferguson, I want you to tell us a little bit about that time, because I want to introduce Omowale to Ronald Ferguson, who he only knows now, but not the Ronald Ferguson from before. So it was his station, was it?
It was, yeah, and we had a nice little premises, and we would just go in and do our thing. And I was the only female on there at that time. You had Angie Greaves. Well, I started before Angie.
So really?
Only from RJR, Miss P.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was the only one playing reggae.
Ranking Miss P.
Ranking Miss P.
Yeah.
DJ Exxon's mum, yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
See you on the radio.
She's brilliant. She's brilliant.
Yeah.
So you may know now, and I'm sure Ronald will give me his permission to share that Ronald now suffers from Alzheimer's, and he does a lot of work in the community, and so this is the Ronald that I introduced you to on Sunday at Diane's event.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, remember I said he used to do a lot of
No,
stuff.
I know him. Obviously not in that, you know. because I've seen him about a lot, and we, you know,
Yeah.
we connect.
So we have to give thanks for the people that set that space and that platform, so that you could have the opportunity. So you played on the radio. Did you play outside, like in clubs, that kind of thing? Or you just...
Yeah, I did it with Meadfield and a couple of other places I can't remember now. It's such a long time ago.
Meadfield was in Harleston, wasn't it?
It was a nice little
Yeah.
bit up the alleyway.
Yeah, that's right.
And did some stuff in I can't remember, but I did. I used to play. I did. My signature tune was oh god, it was just on the tip of my tongue. It's got it.
Tell me, I have those moments.
And it's soul and reggae groove. You were,
Soul and reggae,
yeah.
I have those moments all the time. Kitty also says that for you in 2012, you joined the Charmax band.
Oh,
Are you able to talk about that today, or is that a bit tough today?
no, it's
Circumstances.
yeah, I mean,
Tell us who that was with.
that was Diane and Fagan on the drums, Caroline. We have guitarists like James Shepherd, and I worked alongside Sister Audrey, English girl.
Is she part of the band?
Yes,
Okay.
English girls. Apparently she wrote that 40 years ago, and it's now coming surface.
Mm.
So yeah, I got together with the Charmax band, which was Max Romeo's.
Yeah.
His wife, his name was Charm, and Max, so that's how they put it together. And for me, I've had some good times in my life. Like my highlight of my life is having my first son.
Mm.
Alright, but for me, that was also a highlight for me because first you're a unit, you're a family, you're moving together, you're going everywhere. If I go watching, they're right at the doorway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was no room for any danger or anything, just safety and quality time and talking and singing and the jokes and the laughing and spending time with Max was just unforgettable, and I will always treasure that.
Mm.
Max was an incredible person. He spoke with wisdom and knowledge. He had overstanding inner and he was.
And did you tour with him?
Yes. Yes. I mean, it's a week today and it's still not sunk in,
Mm.
But this is. And we all know this is part of life,
Yes.
But there's just some people you don't
Yeah.
ever want to
Yeah.
live,
And this week has been one of those weeks because you have to kind of reason with the fact that the thing that we're sure of is the passing, right? We're sure of that, but whenever it happens, it can still feel like the first time ever, even if you've experienced it before. And with something like Max Romeo, who it's global. You go into to Facebook, you go onto Google, it talks of his passing. And so we ask that he travels safely to his place of rest, and we thank him also for being instrumental in the lives of yourself, Diane. So I know that Diane feels it too, and that's
We're all people.
yeah. If not for you guys, not for us, because if you didn't DJ, I wouldn't be DJing. I wouldn't be DJing in the likes of Westfields. How I got there, I don't quite even know. Because DJing is not really my thing. I'm supposed to be a presenter. But people think sometimes when you're in radio, oh, you must play out, but I don't really. But I have done. So thank you, because if not for you, then not for me, really. And for providing music so, that when we're out, we can be entertained, educated, and we can have some enjoyment. And thank you for talking about a time that is difficult for you and sharing your time with us. I don't know if there's anything you want to add to that.
I just wanted to clarify something. Max Romeo. Did you sing a tune back in the 70s, Rastaman Wada?
Listen, Max did an album every year for the past 40 years.
Right.
So that there's music I don't even know.
I was wondering if that was him, because
You'd have to ask that.
yeah, okay.
Mind you don't end up with a record label, because Kitty said when she sung, next thing she knows she was singing. I hear you singing now, so I don't know if you've got time. You get signed up. That sounded pretty good there. You can get signed
I
up.
think my days are over for that.
No, but it's tell it, Kitty.
Come to the fact that,
Oh God, other commitments, the young people, the young people.
But
the thing with music, there's no age limit.
I know.
You can go to,
No, I was referring to the work I want to do with young people, you see, and youth mentoring. But in saying that, there is one of the mentors that I'm connected with, and he does a lot of work around music, the whole 9 yards of music, getting young people who are, let's say, are very exuberant, he has a program to get them into music and, expressing themselves that way, right to actually putting something out there. So yeah.
I wish them all the best.
Yeah, man, I'm going to be linking up with him and we're going to do some stuff together.
So Kitty, you were talking about a time when you were quite surprised that people knew about you. You were like, they know about me? What would you like people to know about you?
For me, from my songs, for me my lyrics are important. I want my songs to make them feel good. If they're feeling down, that they know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes,
You're not alone.
Yes.
Somebody else is always worse than you. You just keep moving, keep rising, striving, growing, accepting and change what you can and what you can't. Just
Just keep
let
going.
let it take its course.
Wonderful. So we're coming to the end of your segment,
Okay.
but we'd like you to stay for the rest of the show. So we've got another guest coming on, and I'd love for you to stay and experience his presence as well. So we're going to go to your song, and we're going to go with Golden Rule. Is that okay?
Sure.
And we're going to play that now. And then tell us about that song. Tell us about Golden Rule before we play that.
Golden Rule, that is women in reggae, like I said. Nearest Joseph, we went to the studio and he was there. Rest in peace. Yeah, so
another one
he was
is gone.
involved. Yeah.
Man.
So that's where that came about, and I don't know, the good things come to those, I always believe that. And that was my first line for the song, and then just went from there. But that song is actually so old. I did a video for it about 2 years ago. I always said if I do a video, my first video has to be Golden Rule.
Yeah.
And people are treating the song like it's new, fresh. So I like that. It's still current today, and it has longevity, and that's important.
And how wonderful to have a Golden Rule.
Yes.
Anyway, how wonderful and important and inspiring that is. Omwale, do you have any final words for Kitty? Because we're going to go on to Golden Rule, and then we're going to...
I just want to say it's a pleasure meeting you
Likewise,
as
Keith.
well, and I look forward to hearing the voice.
Just to clarify, so is it just soul that you sing, or is it reggae that you sing? Because I'm hearing Max Romeo, I'm hearing reggae awards and everything like that, but you were saying that the reggae. So I was a little bit confused there.
I don't like to be pigeonholed. If I want to sing jazz, if I want to sing rock, pop, I would just sing it. So I don't want to be pigeonholed. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
But predominantly it's reggae. But I've done soul tracks with JJ Bull to sing.
Oh yeah, he's up and coming, isn't he? Yeah, he's really up and coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
So gifted.
It's when you said the reggae went off, I thought he didn't do any more reggae.
No, it just fell in my lap. That's what
Oh,
I
I
meant. It just
see. I
fell,
misconstrued
came
that.
about.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
fell, not
Okay.
not drop off.
Drop.
Yeah, not drop off.
Oh, bless.
So listen, I always leave this building, this space, this room, this show a different person. So thank you for being a part of making me a different person. And just to say that, my sister, adopted sister, or my sister, and my mum are listening to the show. So thank you for sending special messages out. I mean, we're probably going to find out you're related to me and to Omwale, and that's going to be really confusing. We're going to have to work out
It's
what
going to
we...
be confusing for us.
Yeah,
We're
we have to-
related.
yeah.
That's going to be that's another.
DNA.
That's another show, another.
No, that's not going to happen. But
Documentary.
you could be. That'd be a whole documentary. You could be cousins to us on both sides. We don't know.
Never know.
But thank you for your wonderfulness. Just kind of like all in one. Your spirit, your voice, and all that you have done. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and there's never really enough time because we could have people on the show for 3 hours at a time. But I thank you for your time here. Big shouts going out to Coral Reed. Thank you for tuning in. To my silent listeners and those that get involved, without you there would be no us. So thank you so much. We are going to play Golden Rule. Is something you want to say before?
Yeah, can I just say hi to my partner listening, Delroy B, and to Blade, to Gideon, And to all my friends that I looked in, Rasta G, everybody that's looked in right here was this way, and Happy Ashton again going out to Nana Holder.
Oh, she's gonna love this. Do you know she even came on the show? Do you know why she came on the show? Because she absolutely adores Sean Wallace from The Chase.
Oh,
And when she heard that he was coming, we had to literally bring her into the studio. I kid you not. She's got a photo of him and everything. He signed it, and she came into the studio, sat at the back, and took it all in. So I'm sure she's listening today. She's a wonderful, wonderful inspiration. Kitty, I've got. Where can people get hold of you? Where can I hear your music, etc.?
okay. Delicate on YouTube. Del E Kit, because his name is Del and I am Kit, so Del E Kit.
Nice.
With an E? Del E?
Del E Kit, yeah.
Kit.
Yeah. Also on Instagram as Soul Searching Sister, and on Facebook, Kitty Corbin, on TikTok, Kitty Corbin 427.
Fabulous, guys. This has been Kitty Corbin. She's not leaving us, but she's going to go and take a break now and have a little chill. And we're just going to thank her. We're going to play a Golden Rule. Nice.
In this rough time, tough time, unity is the key. Respect yourself, keep it cool, uplift yourself.
So big shout out to everyone listening on the live stream. It's your girl Blaze, and this of course the Let's Talk show live. Our first guest, of course, you can hear her track now. Kitty Corbin, a track, Golden Rules. How wonderful to have a golden rule. What golden rules do you have in your life? Actually, should we check the comments? Any comments?
I'll give praises every day, no matter how it comes my way. Thank God I know the word. Golden rule.
Oh, give a shout out to
Keep it cool. Uplift yourself. Don't be a fool. Protect yourself with strength and faith and confidence. Good things come to those.
Oh no, they're saying the sound is low.
The sound is slow.
Look if it still is.
Oh, in this rough life, tough life, unity is the key. Golden rules, respect yourself, keep it cool, uplift yourself, don't be a fool. Protect yourself with strength and faith.
Brother Dumel? Yeah. You ready, son? Beautiful voice, beautiful voice.
Come on, dance your way in, dance your way in. Big up the star, dance your way in.
Game on camera, game on
He's on camera, he's on music.
Oh, right,
Let's get some out, let's find some.
Sis, who's your favorite female reggae artist?
Oh,
I should have asked you that. Just
you
don't
get
ask
love
me.
with his mark.
Louisa Marr.
People in Love, yeah.
Right. I just meant the artist period.
Yeah, well, there's too many, no?
Yeah, but yeah.
But
Louisa
there's a version of that.
People in Love.
Yeah. I've got a video on it as well.
Okay. Because Judy Mowat is mine.
Oh, she's back to it.
Was that?
We love Marcia.
Yeah, but Judy is Marcia is prolific from Studio One, but
Still going strong.
but Judy is
Sound come out.
musical, black woman, slave queen. You know what I'm saying? It's another level. Even only a woman. That, in fact, it was ranking Miss P that I heard that tune first. Only woman.
Okay.
I had to buy the album straight.
Yeah, you know.
But I can understand Louisa Marks.
Because that's when I was
Powerful voice.
Yeah, I've got.
Powerful.
Which track of yours
I
have
was
I got?
playing that in school.
See, because I didn't know, Even Though You're Gone was original Michael Jackson. And boy, it was like,
You're not on.
which one is better? They're both just as good. You know what I'm saying? And anybody who can come next to Michael Jackson, but her voice, there was such a lot of passion in it.
Oh yeah, I've got one.
Yeah, she little but she talawa. That's definitely, yeah, man.
What's the other one I've got there?
May she rest in peace.
Yes.
Right,
But Marcia is a legend, though. She's a legend in terms of I mean, she must have had about 10,000 songs or something. She must have done so many songs, so much work.
And when I do a live gig, I would do a medley of her songs, but put three together, like Truly and
Right. That would drop nice.
I saw her one time with her manager, so I was with Diane, and Diane said, "Oh, this is cute." The manager said, "I've heard her name."
Oh, great. That's wonderful. And they look well. They all look well, considering their career.
spin you around.
You know, they look well.
Yes.
This word?
But Judy Moore, she went kind of gospel.
I've got
She
if
went
that's
kind of,
heaven that I've got up there. Carol's messaging me now.
Yeah.
Sending it to you now.
but those sisters, though, they've been through a lot
What's that?
within the Rastafari movement.
Let's
been-
see how
they've
you
been
send
through a
me,
lot.
'cause that'll make them.
They've
Had
been
them
through a
wearing
lot.
car
You said
people
it?
clothes, you know,
Yeah.
just piff.
Was that?
Had them wearing some old daddy clothes and tea.
Yeah, but even some of the treatment by the brothers,
Yeah.
it's
I'm
painful.
gonna have to email this.
It's
One. This
painful.
isn't on Spotify, is it?
No,
Yeah.
that's a
Painful,
pre-release.
I mean,
That was Treat Me.
The whole industry, how it deals with
That's
sisters.
been out. But it's
You
not
know what I'm
been out
saying?
since before.
Across the board though.
Yeah.
But now stop us.
Otherwise, you
I know.
Slow is on there.
But really and truly,
Last thing I had out, that's on
we should
Spotify.
do
So
that.
what's
We
this
should
one, Heaven?
complement each other,
What's this
not
one?
rival each
Heaven.
other or
Yeah.
undermine each
Okay.
other.
It's good because it's
I know.
I'll do
Everybody
Heaven.
just
Yeah, we'll do
think
that.
that, the world is only about them. There's so
There's a
much.
circle, there's a circle.
Yeah,
of
there's so
clique,
much.
You know, they have their clique and that's who they work with only.
Yeah.
The DJs only play.
Yeah,
They
it's
might play on the radio, but they're not playing in the dance. So people are not really hearing the new stuff.
it's a symptom of a colonized mentality,
Mindset. Yes.
and we do it on so many levels. Any little industry we're in, we want to just have it for ourselves. We don't want we're not good at bringing others in. And,
No,
It sounds a bit low, but I don't know if it's still there.
Never.
yeah, man. It's,
Oh, okay. We're going to go back. Okay, guys. So no ID, no entry at the karaoke. I hope some of you are going to be coming down to join us. This Friday, this coming Friday, is of course the big Aryan celebration. There's 4 members of the team. Ollie, can you remember who the 4 are?
the big Aryan.
As in Aries.
Oh, right, because when I hear Aryan, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, I'm thinking, white supremacy and all these things. Sorry.
Okay.
Who are the 4 what?
People born in April, dear.
The people born in April
From the team.
are as follows: Big E,
Yeah, Big E.
aka Little E, Sarah,
Sarah,
DJ Piper,
DJ Piper.
and finally, I don't know who the last
Oh,
one is.
really? I was thinking you're doing really good. It's Susan rather.
Susan. I
Yeah.
don't call her Susan, you know. I call her Ya Santua.
Well,
Right?
it's
She's
her
a
birthday.
powerful sister. Yeah, man.
So
Big up Ya Santua.
we've got 4 members of the team celebrating their birthdays on the 25th of April.
Wow.
You guys got to come down. I don't know. I think
It's
it's
an April
only,
affair, isn't it?
I think it's only you and I that's not born in April. No,
Is it?
actually, you, myself, and Sandra are in December.
December.
Interesting as that.
Representing, man.
I like people born in April. They're lovely. Including my son, they're lovely. So, guys, we've had a wonderful
Oh, yeah, my
start.
son is in April as well.
Yeah, did you just
Oh,
know?
gosh, I just remembered.
Yes.
God have mercy. my
Okay.
son.
Soon. So, you see, well, they're just lovely. Have great
Yeah, I love
spirits,
April.
and
I love
they're
April.
funny.
I love April now. I just remember my son's born in.
I hope he's tuning in
Big up
live.
Munyadadzi, my boy. He's doing well at university, you know. He's smashing it. Anyway.
I hope he's listening live. He's going to say, Dad. You'll find out tomorrow. He'll say, Dad. So, anyway, we are celebrating all those that work tirelessly to ensure that we have great events, whether it's karaoke, whether it's poetry, whether it's menopause, whether it's International Women's Day, whether it's some fun with Manala quiz shows, all kinds of things happen because these individuals are so wonderful. Not forget, of course, those who are not born in April but help to make the Let's Talk show and Venus Promotions, Koja Baden and all of that stuff work so well. Just quickly to say that I'm super excited that maybe next week I will be launching, or Koja Baden, not me on my own, will be launching 2 new projects. So that's Sarah, Sandra, Omawale, Carmen, Surem, Big E and all of those involved in it. For Koja Baden, we're going to be announcing 2 new projects and I cannot wait. So flyers are being done, a big shout out to Stack. So watch this space. We are tackling, what's the best way to say it? We're tackling how we show up in spaces differently. We're looking at our health and how we kind of also return to the alternative therapies. Big shout actually going out to the likes of Elna, who also makes my jewellery. And also big shouts going out to the likes of Charm and Dalian and all of those people that do the wonderful work in the community at the African pop-up market. A big shout to the camera crew because I took Ola with me and I think it's fair to say that we had a great time. So we're going to be embarking on 2 new projects. So watch this space for what? Are you excited?
I'm very, very excited. I remember the We Wear Heritage. And apparently there's some pictures there in the town hall.
Civic Centre there.
Oh, is it? Oh, well, okay. Is it not one in the same?
No.
All
Civic
right,
Centre.
okay. The Civic Centre. I'm not from these sides, brothers and sisters. Please forgive me. But yeah, there's some pictures of all of us. Yourself, Sarah, you know. And
But I hear that you're front and centre. We need to go down and see that, don't we?
yes, we do. Yes, we do.
So yeah, that's our excitement. But I'm also now excited about my next guest. And I'm going to crack on because I know there's lots to say and there's lots to do. So my next guest, I have known for many, many years. I'm not sure how long he's known me, but I've known him for a very long time. And he just looks the same age. It's just incredible. It is so African. We just look the same age, however many years apart. And I've not seen him for some time. But I know that he remains awesome because he's here with me today to tell me all about the awesomeness. And so, you know, in our community, we have so many individuals who, I guess the word polymath comes to mind, where we know lots of things about lots of things. Some of us know some things about some things, or some things about lots of things. But when you're in a space with somebody who does so many different things, it's really exciting. My next guest, Damel, if I said it correctly,
Yes, you have to.
Damel is a soulful vocalist. You're going to hear some more about that later. A songwriter, producer, an artist, a poet, and an activist. I mean, do we need 2 shows for our next guest? Quite possibly. So thank you for joining us, Damel. It's a real pleasure to have you in the studio. How have you enjoyed the show so far?
Yeah, it's been sounding really good. The vibe's been really good. Feeling it. So, yeah,
Nice.
pleasure
Big
to
up,
be
big
here.
up yourself.
You're very welcome.
And he's extremely well attired
I know.
in his buba.
Aha.
And it's Carol Shaw.
And his cowrie shells as well. So respect to you, my brother.
Okay.
I think
I have my beads there, but I bow to your beads for representing today.
Oh, well, we have to try, you know.
So, give thanks.
Yeah, man, and we have to represent Jinyame as
There
well.
you go.
You know what I'm saying? God is powerful.
Yeah, we have to turn up, man.
Yes, we have to represent, man. If not, who's going to do it?
Yeah.
Who's going to show the youth how to attire yourself as an African? So we have to do this. This is our
The choices.
yeah. This is our gift to our young people. It's their birthright. Anyway, sorry. don't let me-
Absolutely. So just quickly, We Were Heritage project that Omar is referring to was an opportunity that we were afforded, funded by the lottery, for us to talk about the fact that we are always either adorned in African garments or carrying African print fabric, or both, and kind of like the importance of people understanding the history of that. So we've done that last year. Had a massive African fashion show. We also did London Fashion Week, didn't we? And then the display is now at the Civic Centre in Wembley. So it's wonderful to have you here attired. I expected nothing different, actually, to be honest. But tell us a little bit about your background, kind of like where were you born, what sort of things do you enjoy doing as a young person? I know you're still young now, so what things do you still enjoy? See how I did that quickly?
Thank you for
So
that.
over to you. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, before I do that, just a big greeting and a shout out to the whole community. This feels like a homecoming right now. Those of you who know me, you know I grew up around here. Big up the Chalkhill Massive.
Yep.
Stonebridge, Willesden, Wembley,
Poplar
Kingsbury.
Grove.
Yeah, Poplar Grove, the whole area. All the people I know who know me, family and everything. Everyone, I know you're listening. Big up yourself and your beautiful mummy Sajo. Yes, so really happy to be here with you guys and you, Omawali. So yeah, talking about me.
Tell us about you.
Okay, you introduced me with the things that I do. So musically, artistically as a fine artist, I've become an activist out of tragedy that's happened, that needed justice to be fought for. And poetry I've been writing probably since I was about 8, for the last 30 years as well. So it's I'm a wordsmith as well. I love language and I love words. So all that encapsulated. So what you do with music, what role you play in it, what part you play in it. I'm a vocalist and a songwriter and producer as well.
Before you tapped into those skills that you so wonderfully reeled off, because they are who you are now.
Yeah.
Tell us about how you became a person, when you worked out that you were a singer, a poet. What was life like for you as a younger person, or kind of where does Damel's excellence come from in these areas?
Can I ask Brother Demel, where you people from?
Yeah.
Can we get?
There you go. Well, let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
So I was born in the Gambia. So big up all Gambians.
Yes,
I don't know now
yes.
there's more Gambians than those born in Gambia. There's a whole lot of honorary Gambians, right? As far as we're concerned, that's what you are.
There was
Get the
something
honorary
about you that
Gambians.
was different, Now, right. Now I get it. Now I
big
get it.
something.
Okay.
So yeah, I was born there. So came to UK when I was 9. So those first 9 years are really formative. There's a lot that you can become in that time, potentially, and we really are. So musically, you've got drums around you every day. They're just music. If you live in a hot country, could be the Caribbean, wherever, there's music playing as you step out. So with the drums, there's a foundation. So even as a kid, when we were probably about, 6, 7 years old, we used to make our own drums. So being like our friends in the area. So we used to get the goat skin that was buried around Eid and Ramadan and that. So we would ask for the goat skin, go through the process, but you got buried for 3 days. It sounds horrible, but soften it.
Tone in the same way that I would have felt the drums when you spoke.
Yeah, serious. When I speak Olof, we call it Olof.
Olof. Okay, beautiful.
That's what we say.
This is what I wanted to know, because you said Nagande.
Right, Nangadef.
That's
See,
I
my
know
voice
Nangadef.
changes when I speak one language. That's where you pick it up.
Yeah, man.
Nangadef is how are you?
Yeah, that's what.
Nangendef is a plural. Nakandef. Nakanga deaf is the singular. Naka.
You're not leaving here tonight, you know, bro.
No, can you feel it? Like, have you just had like a...
No, I've got my book out.
No, I'm alright. We can't do the full. We can't. You will come out tomorrow. We don't have that much time.
So, I know Nangadef. I know people greet Nangadef.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but when you said we said
Nagendef. That's
when you're speaking to.
That's when you're speaking to more than one person.
Just the stress. Just the stress, right?
But yeah, the tone changes.
Yeah, and I felt that.
Totally.
It's a reflection of living there in Gambia or living in a different country where things are living here.
Yeah.
Because I thought about this myself. And here we're very mindful of we live on top of each other and next to each other. Right? We squash.
Yes.
Whereas, let's say in Gambia, you've got your own plot of land,
Yeah.
build in a distance. So you can express yourself how you want to and be real without thinking about the neighbours or they complaining. So gradually, in that way, your voice changes. The atmosphere changes your voice as well.
Brother,
so the sun loosens your voice more. So all that, and it's
Yeah, because the thing is, what's happened just there, it just makes me feel about, you know, the fact that we are not in our natural space. Yeah, we're not in our natural environment. So even not hearing that tone that I've just heard and felt just shows how much we are missing out on kind of, you know, maintaining any kind of Africanness whilst we remain in this space. Because we've been talking probably for about 2 minutes. Omawale would have you speak for 3 hours. We don't have that time. But in that time, I already feel different. And I said I'm different each time I come to this station, each time I interview somebody. Guys, if you've just tuned in, today's show is Music to My Ears. That is the title. I'm already almost at the ugly cry. There's always somebody that comes into this space that brings me to the ugly cry, which is so important to have a co-host, because I just feel that in so many aspects of my being. And the quote for today simply goes like this: where words fail, music speaks. But Damel has just spoken and given me both. That is real 2 for the price of 1. Because he has spoken and it has sounded almost musical to me and powerful. So, you know, we say that our strapline here at the Chalkwood Community Radio Station is keeping the community connected. And when we say you are locked in to the Let's Talk show, sometimes we mean physically. Sometimes people, the love like, am I not gonna? But yeah, but so okay, so you have spoken about Gambia. You've spoken about the drums, the process of the drumming, and talking about open space compared to us living here and kind of being on top of each other, etc. Which was the first of your talents that you recognised as a child? So you spoke about writing, I think, from about 8 years old. When in Gambia, was that when you kind of worked out, I've got this skill, I've got this talent? Tell us about that.
At that age, so I came when I was 9, so young. Wow. He was historian. He'd tell you the history of Mesopotamia, he'd tell you the history of all different countries in the world when he came here. But, you know, sad to say, this place basically just took his vigor, took his life really, with the bitterness that from the experiences that we can go through here sometimes. But he was a wordsmith. He had a dictionary. Whenever he was reading or even listening to the TV, came across a word, he'd never let it go. His dictionary, and he'd always be writing idioms and stuff. So I must have picked this up genetically and just seen it being around. So all those things go to formulate the person you are. So, but in saying that now, there's different aspects of me or of anyone, but if you're creative, you're creative. So it's a matter of what do you focus on, why do you focus on that, and why don't you also do the other things that you can do.
So you're saying when you're a creative, it's not just in one area, it's a global...
If you're creative, you've got at least 2 skills that you can hone to the level that you want to take it to. So it's up to you, but we get, like Kitty was saying before about being pigeonholed. There's pigeonholing, but there's also you pigeonholing yourself in that you're expected to do this because you're known to do this.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a singer, right? Yeah, that gone.
Yeah.
No, but I also, sorry, hello, excuse me.
Yeah, yeah.
So you don't hold yourself just as that's what you are. There's other things you do it,
Yeah.
and try and do it to the perfection rather than one over the other. So it's not an enemy, something we have to work with, but it's time. So making that time and the energy to keep doing that.
Can I ask you, are we all creatives?
Yeah. Every single person.
Uh-huh.
Every single person is an artist because if you want to talk about art, visual art,
Yeah.
then it's just look at what we're wearing, look at the
Yeah.
jewelry, look at the poster, look at everything.
Yeah.
We know it's all around us. So what do we do now that's artistic?
Because I'm wondering that in terms of, obviously with your background, you had the space and the opportunity and the cultural environment to
Yeah.
express yourself artistically in so many different ways.
Yeah.
Conversely, we're here living on top of each other and we can barely stretch our arms out to develop our creativity. So I'm just wondering,
But do you know what?
Sorry,
Can I just
sorry.
say, just on a personal level, and you may or may not know this, and I may or may not have told you, but your creativity is when I say to you, and because Damel's alluded to how we dress, your creativity is when I say, shall I wear this head wrap with this top or not?
Yeah.
And you go, no, wear that one. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know those two went together.
Right.
So you do have a level of, I mean, I'm sure there are other aspects, but that's the one that comes to mind first because that's the more regular one. I'm like, what do you think of this? And you think, oh, put that with that. That's creative.
Yeah.
It's just that you're not probably doing it physically,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's coming from your mind.
and that's kind of the point I wanted to make is having the opportunity to recognize the creativity within,
Yeah.
so you can express it. Whether you do it, in terms of a profession or not,
Yeah.
is another issue. But being in a place like this, and it's interesting you mentioned the painful experience of your dad, because you're just kind of compressed in an environment like that. And it takes you years to actually realize. I mean, our sister Queen earlier on was doing her 9 to 5,
Yeah.
and it took years before she delved into her creativity. And I'm just thinking, you had that from early.
Well, I've
You know,
been living here for a long time as
in a
well.
natural environment.
Yeah, I
But
started
I think
off
that's your
with it.
foundation.
But you know what you're saying, that is, it's the beauty and it's a bit of the ugly of it as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Because you can, whatever you're experiencing, you can put it into your
Positive.
your
Yeah,
creativity.
yeah.
So it doesn't have to be, if you live in the countryside, and we're talking about painting, you want to paint the countryside,
Yeah.
or well and good, this is
Yeah.
what you're feeling, this is your vibe, this is what you're seeing, this is what you're absorbing as well,
Yeah,
those colours, fine.
Mhm.
If you're living in a part of town that's not well funded, and the shops are closing down, and you have
Yeah.
an experience of unemployment, you put that into your creativity still.
Mhm.
So the songs you write, you may want to reflect it. You
Mhm.
may want to
Mhm.
reflect the opposite. You may want to look at the joys that you still do have in your life. And whatever you're going through, you still it's just expression.
Yeah.
Creativity is an expression of what you feel, what you think, and what you believe.
And that's what I love about music, because it is mood altering. And you will play a different genre of music that will probably fit your mood for that day. Or certain words. You might listen to a particular track because of those words and what those words mean at that time.
Yeah.
And so I love it. Okay, let's talk about your singing
Right.
career. Let's talk a little bit about that. Tell us about, when you first started singing, because I know you were part of the band, Quest,
Yeah.
and I think I recall seeing you as Quest before being a solo artist. So talk to us a little bit about Quest.
Okay, we'll go back a bit before Quest. So I'll go through as best as I can.
Cool.
So I think first of all, it started off in Chalk.
Nice.
So
Joel Killian.
Joel Killian, Curtis Lugay, Dave Lugay, Johan.
Wow.
And we started a band. These are two brothers, and they're really good friends of mine. Johan's been like the best drummer of the year in UK for a couple of years. And anyway, we started with the band. I went out and bought a saxophone because I just love the saxophone.
Yeah, me too.
Didn't have a
Me too.
clue how to play it. Ended up playing sax.
Wow.
So we had
Wow.
yeah.
You're not easy though.
The creative.
So-
Get the saxons get going.
Yeah, so I started writing songs from there. We recorded, I think we only recorded one song, and then kind of recent practice, then moved on. So the first proper band I joined, not proper, but the first longer lasting band, was in Leeds, a band called Clique. Later on became Cachet. So I used to travel up and down to Leeds, back and forth every week for a year and a half. We toured Finland and Denmark, a 2-month tour.
What type of musical genre?
Funk.
Sorry to pitch it.
Soul, funk, music.
Okay.
Funk, get down, guitar, Earth, Wind and Fire.
All right, okay.
Right, so we did that.
That was what, 90s, 80s?
The 90s, not 80s. Late 80s, yeah.
Okay.
So we taught, this is my first tour. So in those 2 months I learned, I think, everything I needed to learn about going on the road.
Right.
Big up, Clique. We released a couple of singles. 2 of us left, the 2 Londoners left and come back to London and form Life Size. So Life Size was us, the duo, myself, Chris Buckley. And at the time I was living in Chalk Hill where we did a Soul Train with Jeffrey Daniels.
The legend that is.
Yeah,
right? Oh,
for
gosh.
real. So that was a really exciting time in Chalk Hill. Seeing the windows twitch and stuff, and I was walking by, I was like, "You're on TV!" Channel 4,
And we didn't have much. We did any black person. Oh, everybody come.
Yeah, well, so
Because I say, back then,
yeah,
we weren't, we had Alpha and Donna probably on top of the box, single pants and thing.
Yeah.
So it was a thing actually to see you on television, and also it was a thing because when we watched Soul Train, when we watched Soul Train, we didn't know those people, we couldn't touch them tangibly, but we knew, and we knew your brother and your family and your cousin, so that kind of made that real for us, and gave us possibility.
Yeah, for sure.
So thank you.
And Peter is my brother.
Big shout out to Peter.
Shout out to Nothing But Love every time.
Yeah, we've got him Rasta Pete.
Rasta Pete. Yeah, so I did feel that because being in the estate, I mean, for me, I was just focused on what I'm doing and where I'm going and how well I need to do it. So I'm not always looking at the around me and what the reaction, what the effect is. Until you hear from people and see people and you think, oh, you know what? I feel really good that I can be this person. And if people feel good to see me happy. If it inspires them, that's the glory.
So you mentioned Earth, Wind and Fire. I mean, we're all inspired by Earth, Wind and Fire. Did that sort of, was that the way you wanted your music to go? Because they were obviously very inspirational, they were very expressive and vocally.
Well, musically, like I think you had asked a question before about favourite type of music, which was number one. I think it sounds so cliche, but music is music is my first love.
Yeah.
So whether Surfing and Fire or Bird and Spear, or Free with Paul Rogers or Rod Stewart or Matt Varney. The first concert I went to was Status Quo. So for me, I've always had my foot in good few camps, and I just try and be the best of male I can be wherever I am. So my school was in Maidavale on Kilburn. So I was in my primary school. I think there's 2 of us that were black, and it's Catholic school. So I was always in that physical minority. But these are my friends, and we were together, and I was in that, getting that experience. Then I'll come home to Chalk Hill with a different group of friends.
Chalk Hill's the real deal. So
I go Bird's Nest and I go Railway, same way with some heavy, serious dub. Wherever I go now, I would love whatever speaks to me. Just say with the music speaking. So it's all those influences, I think, are in me. So when I'm going to write and record and where you coming from, I will start with the drum foundation.
Of course. That's the heartbeat. We call that the heartbeat of the nation.
So that's where I'm starting from. And everything builds on that. So whichever way you go, it's just instruments and notes and melodies. Then you get a rhythm, you get a vibe, and if it feels right, then go with that. Otherwise, you're thinking too much about what type of music I want to do. Just let the music flow. So I try and go that way. So you find in my music all different styles.
That's important, because I think, we do karaoke, right, as a social event on once a month. And some people come in there, and when they start to sing, I'm just like, you just come from your house, walked into the Kilburn Bridge, and started singing like that.
Tear up the pews.
They just lift off the roof, and then for those were really there for karaoke, I had to say, sorry, I didn't know this person was coming. Because then nobody wants to sing, right? After that, they're like, they're like, I ain't going up there.
Yeah.
So you're saying about feeling it and where you feel your music and that takes you. Guys, if you've just joined us, it is the Blow Away, Blow Your Mind, Let's Talk show live today. I am mind blown by my guest today. And we're having a wonderful time in the studio with co-host Brother Omawale. Our special guest today is Damel, and he's talking about soulful singing. He's saying that actually everybody has creative aspects to their character. It's just whether you have tapped in to find out what that is, or how many of your creative skills do you use. We've only so far touched singing, and I think we're going into a bit of songwriting, but we've got producer to come, we've got artists, we've got poetry, and we've got activists. So whatever you had planned for the rest of this afternoon, I think you should put it aside. So back to you.
We've got a little competition as well.
We've got competition, we've got to do that, I know, so I don't want to have you here and then you go. We're going to do the competition, so I'm going to have to time manage, but we're going to do the competition. So you started off with a number of different bands.
Yeah.
You've come to Chalkert, it's a whole new different experience for you. So take us through a bit more of your music career before we touch on poetry.
From there, I was coming from Life Size now musically, so I was working in the area with a keyboard player, Stephen Cole, the man that conducted the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra for John Holt's concert at Hammersmith Pavilion. I think, was it Steve? Yeah.
That was
Right,
a
so
concert.
that's-
That was
yeah.
a concert.
Brilliant keyboard player, but he's one of the few guys around that could read. So wherever you give him, so we used to just go through like a Stevie Wonder songbook, and he would just play everything like. And so we did a lot of just shows around the area, mainly.
Was he local? Was he a Northwest person?
Yeah, we lived in Wembley.
Yeah, I think I know him.
Steve.
Yeah.
We got
Yeah.
Blossom as well. I follow Gay, all of you.
Yeah.
We're in the area. I'm in the area.
Yes.
Yo.
And Blossom I worked with as a
Yeah.
younger person. Yeah, she was called something else, but yeah. Okay,
But with him, through him, I have to say, and I have to give him thanks because it was his idea. He took myself and Enyanam, we used to sing together a lot, to audition for Black Heroes in the Hall of Fame.
Ooh, give me a moment. Do you know that was like one of my best theatre experiences to date? In fact, I'm going to say to date. And I was speaking with communicating with Flip Fraser,
Right.
saying I need to bring this back. I wanted to bring this back for my children because it changed my life seeing that production. And as you know, we were talking, and they said, "Oh, I'm going to be in the UK." Sadly, we never got to connect. So, which character? Who did you play?
Well, Heroes, and again, big up the Heroes and Heroes group. We're family, you know, and from 1991, I think, I've been part of the cast, and to now, we're close as ever as family.
Because they've got a foundation now, haven't they?
Yeah.
Because I went to an event, yeah.
But I joined. So I joined, and we toured USA, East Coast.
Sorry, who were you with?
What's your character?
I used to play Marvin Gaye.
Okay.
Don't have to wait.
Okay. Okay.
I think I remember that.
King Menelik the second.
Nice.
Part of the chorus.
Nice.
And we had Smokey Robinson and Miracles one time as well, and Gladys Knight the Pip. So a miracle and a pip. You know, I love Motown because those names, we've gone the opposite way now. You know, the Temptation, the Miracles, the Tops, and the Supremes. Everything was aiming for the top, right? Yeah. So,
No one's ever said that on the show before. The miracle and I've been a pit for being the first.
So so we did two tours with Black Heroes and USA in a way, for 3 months each time in 91 and 94. And as you say, for me, even looking objectively, it's one of the best productions.
Yeah.
Wherever you want to go,
It was
because I had actually had a chance to
life-changing.
see it.
Yeah.
So in US, I think it was probably as high performance-wise, let me say, give or take. But it's because of the costumes that we got from Hollywood for the 91 tour,
Okay.
and the amount of rehearsal that we did on the stage and beforehand. We didn't know how good and tight the show was. But I got strep throat, I got sick during the time, and I was like quarantined out of the way for 2-3 days. So when I was coming back, I actually went to the audience to see the show, and my jaw was, this is what I'm You know, you could actually see what people were seeing. And how it changed people's lives, as you were saying.
Listen, even now, when I think about it, I went to the Headley event, I can't remember where it was, down Marylebone Road, And I sat there and I just thought, I wonder if people really know how powerful and how I still want it to come back.
Yeah.
I think it still should come back.
Yeah.
Plus, I think I should be in it now.
Yeah.
But I think it should come back. But thank you for being a part of that, because
Yeah, man.
that was
That's serious history.
that was life changing.
It is.
But we got to crack on.
Yes, we do.
Otherwise, I'll be on stage. So, you Black Heroes in the Hall of Fame, amazing.
Yeah.
A miracle and a pip.
So it was through that, touch on maybe two more things coming from there. Through Black Heroes, really joined Soul to Soul and toured with them for 3 or 4 years. So it's 4 out of the cast of Black Heroes. The same Enyanam I was telling you that I auditioned with to join the cast. Julie Payne, who was also lived in Church Road, she's a local, and Ingrid Webster, the African Zulu girl.
Yes.
So we went on tour, I toured with them, jazzing everyone for 3 or 4 years.
So what was that like? Because obviously they were the heights of their...
Well, there you go. So, I mean, it was Soul to Soul, and we were big internationally. So it used to be like 3 acts on the tour.
Right.
So I think first one in Japan, we toured with Marky Mark and CC Peniston. But we also toured with Incognito in Germany and James Brown.
Wow.
So,
Ooh, James Brown. Like Godfather James Brown.
James Brown.
You know we're going to get you sliding across the studio.
And seeing him every day, you know, and watching him on stage. Sometimes we just come from backstage just to watch the band.
Genius at work.
And talk to the band afterwards, and just to know how the level this man not operates on, but has been operating on for so long. And that is inspiring for anyone who, you know, for longevity. You have to keep that standard and that level going. So
see, the thing is with that, I've got to say, with the Let's Talk show, we don't play, you know, we don't just have art here and out there with people. We have an extraordinary, everybody that comes on the show is extraordinary, whether they're 8 years old, whether they're a singer, whether they're a writer, whether they've got a tragedy, whether they've got some great news. You are all extraordinary people, every single one of you. We aren't ordinary, we are extraordinary. So thank you.
Right. So and again through Black Heroes, the musical director was Kareem Jamal, was Ken Kendricks, as people knew him then, in case you want to go back, and Tony Douglas, Tony Terror from Paddington Terror Sound. We were all in Black Heroes, and Lloyd Brown was in Black Heroes. I mean, there's been so many musicians. Chris Lincoln, Thompson, he
played Selassie, didn't he?
He played
Nelson Mandela.
Black Heroes. You know, you could just go through the Black Stones. But anyway, we formed a group, myself, Tony and Kareem, after Lloyd Brown was going on tour with Sanchez and Mikey Spice. So he asked us to do some backing vocals. So we said, yeah, cool, we're going to tour with you. And we were all learning the songs individually. When we came together to actually sing, the 3 of us, which we hadn't done before in the show, just 3. Our voices were just in the perfect places. Kareem on top, me in the middle, and Tony. This is naturally where we go through. So the harmony didn't have to be worked on that much as far as positioning. So we formed Quest, KWEST, and recorded 2 albums later, and 5 or 6 singles on top of the albums.
Brilliant.
And lots of shows as well.
Jamil, there's like a plethora of things to talk about with you.
It is.
And so I'm going to have to treat it like Woolworth pick and mix.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to choose the bits.
Yeah.
I want to ask you what or who inspires your art? Because we know that you sing, and including whichever aspect of your art, whether it's your singing, your poetry, who or what, how are you inspired by the things?
What do you mean? The generality altogether?
Generality, because you can choose an aspect, you can talk about your poetry, or, you know, what else?
Well, let me say first, I mean, I'll go under the name of Demel for music. Demel Carriel ST for fine art.
Oh, yeah, I meant to ask you about that ST.
Yeah, I'll let you know. and Demel, the artist, is like a conglomerate, like a trinity of the 3 or more disciplines in one, in me, because I'm still one person.
Absolutely.
The different aspects don't separate from me, I'm still one, so that's why I chose that name. So inspiration, I'll break it down a little bit. So for painting, let's say, another thing with my dad, he was a cultured man, so he used to take me to the National Gallery, the V&A and all those places, Natural History Museum, but when I was really young, and I'd be standing there staring at these masterpieces, big paintings,
Mm-hmm.
and I was absorbing, I was
Yeah.
studying them,
Yeah.
basically. So Sundays I'd go to the Natural History Museum and just draw by myself, draw, and go back home, critique and that. So this was, so those paintings by Rembrandt and all those, the Italian Renaissance, that first inspired me. Musically, Marvin Gaye has been a big thing in my life,
Beautiful.
but so was the movement that this UK went through in the late 70s with reggae, with roots music, when the Wailers did come out, when Burning Spear did come out, the messages that were coming from the music. I saw the effect that had on my brothers who are not born in Africa and who this helped to connect with. So that was a serious, I recognized that and I felt that. So that's all inspiration. People like James Baldwin inspired me. I went through a fair bit, like 5 or 6 of his books, and listened to him talk, as an activist. All those things motivate and inspire me.
What about Omowale Malcolm X? Were you?
Yeah,
Inspired
Malcolm X and King and all that I used to listen to, but for me,
I know Baldwin, there was a tight connection with Baldwin and Malcolm X. That's why I was wondering if...
Malcolm X, I've read his biography, and the book that he put out, I can't remember the title of it. But for me, it was...
history?
Huh?
Malcolm X and Afro-American history?
Yes, I think that one.
It's a little small.
But it's Minister Farrakhan, I think that's really...
Okay, you were inspired by those characters.
And just, we were invited to his house, right? His palace, I should say, as Black Heroes.
Okay.
On tour.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
he came to see the show and he was just blown away.
Okay.
Totally blown away.
You're dropping some names, man.
Well,
You're dropping some double.
That's my
Minister
roads.
Minister Farrakhan.
And that's it for Jamal. He's like, just went to Asda. He's just rolling out like it isn't anything.
Man.
How amazing.
So, but and the other thing is, for inspiration, it comes through me. So I believe a lot. I mean, our ancestors, if you really believe that, either you believe they're around and they can help you in your day or not. If you do,
That is our way.
where does it?
Yeah.
You must take note of when it happens.
Yeah.
And for me, it does happen through the dreams that you have when they come. You're working on a project. Okay, you're meditating on it, but ideas will come. Where does that idea come? So
Just
messages do
lands,
come
yeah.
from our
Well,
ancestors to us.
in our tradition, we have the realm of the ancestors.
Yeah.
Hence the reason why before we do anything, we pour libation to our ancestors. So they're here.
Yeah.
They're here right
so
now.
they're here. So it's
Coming through
a lot
you.
comes from them and through me.
Absolutely.
So if you can recognize that it's there, then you have to honor it. So if it's words or a tune or something, I'll have a book by my side, bedside, or phone, and I'll record those 2-3 o'clock in the morning hits. Because I know it's special.
Because that's how I live my everyday. Now, I often ask the question, do other people receive in the same way? Do other people receive and maybe not know they're receiving? What do they call it? What do they make it? Because I was saying to you earlier, I don't choose the guests for my show. I don't even put the guests together. That is all done for me. I show up and deliver the show. But I honestly don't feel like I go, right, okay, people just fall into. For me, because that's done for me. It's not an actual plan. It falls in because that's how it should be. So you've spoken about your granddad, your father. You've spoken about people that have been influential in your life. You've spoken about your African heritage and connection. You've spoken about how you've moved through the borough of Brent and how you've sat in the houses of just some interesting people. You've spoken about your time with James Brown. We're going to get you that coat and see if you can slide across the floor like he thinks it's important to share your learnings, and just how you're inspired by ancestral guidance and how that is such a beautiful thing. I asked you to bring some poetry. Are you able to read a piece of poetry to us now?
I can, yeah.
Would you mind doing that? And then we're going to.
Question afterwards as well. Once you finish reading your poetry, that's if we've got the time.
Because time is we're going over, and we've got another show. We've got another show coming up, so we're going to have to be very succinct. And I suppose it's about competition,
So let me just drop the question now, because you, as a fine artist,
As a child, you mentioned about your connection with colours.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering, because not enough of us realise the importance of, or the depth of colours and the impact it has on the mind, body and soul. So I
Yeah.
just wanted to hear from a fine artist
Yeah.
about a little bit about colours.
Yeah,
and
well,
the
just
impact.
briefly, I mean, colours vibrate and they have sound as well, really. So if we talk about music and something visual, they do talk to each other and they resonate. And we absorb colours as well. So
Yes.
if you're going into a park with all the green and the different colours of flowers and everything else, by looking at them, you know, you can't absorb them into your body, and you can reproduce and recreate those things because they're in you. So we're all part of the one cosmos. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's
Do
all
you
part of
know, don't worry, you're going to have to come back.
Yeah.
Do you know that? You're going to have to come
Yeah.
back and do a part
Both
two.
of you.
Yeah, you have to come back and do a part two.
Should I do this quickly?
Yeah, you do your poetry, we'll do your song, and then we'll talk about you coming back to do the rest.
Right.
The rest. No, we're going to talk about the promotion. Could you imagine that? I've got you on here to talk about the promotion, and I have not spoken about the promotion. I'm going to, but I'd like you to do your piece, and then we're going to round off with the promotion. Yeah,
Well,
we're going to do
I'll at least be able to give the website and everything for.
We'll do it quick. Yeah, we've got a few minutes to. Yeah, so you take your time with the poetry, and then we'll do that.
Okay, well, this is a request. Big up yourself, Coral Consciously, PR. One of the best PR people around.
Oh, bless you.
There's a request from her, and it's a poem called Beauty is Black, which is written a long time ago.
I love it already. I love it already.
89. So just a response to the negative black words that we have, blackness, black men, and everything else. And a recognition for the beauty of black. Every colour is black, so is every person.
Absolutely.
This is my take on beauty is black, which drawing and working on top of Shakespeare. To be or not to be black, is there a question? When there are none nobler in dignity and in pride, and yet those suffering and having endured the slings and arrows, the stings and blows of oppression, and the painful throes of dispossession, to emerge vibrant without depression. To be or not to be black. To find and to define the source of beauty, the source of strength, the source of courage and of pride, the source of style, the source of survival and of longevity, the source of being itself in being. Oh yes, to be black. Is there a question? In the face of opposition and even a place of relocation, the face black, diverse in many shades, each of beauteous accolade finds its source the same. There with understanding, there in being, to be, or yes, to be black, there is no question.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you.
That was from
That's beautiful.
a long time ago. So it's just the growing and just learning more and more our life, our world, what's happened to us as black people and as Africans, what's been done to us,
Absolutely.
and how to celebrate from it.
Absolutely. I know we haven't got time for this, but just
Yeah, we have a.
just to say that we have a Nigerian in the house, Brother Ola. We have a Gambian in the house. There needs to be the jollof rice debate at some point, so maybe when come
that
back.
debate won't last.
There's a Niger man over here who'll tell you different though.
So,
Sorry,
sorry,
digression. My apologies.
you know, that rendered me without a response, which is why I didn't respond initially, because that's so beautiful and so powerful, and I felt that in the sea.
Even more important in my eyes, limited edition.
Right.
So there'll be 3 winners to design a logo to go on the Supermalt can. So let me please give you the website. Please get a pen. Give you the website where you can go in, which is all the W's. supermalt.com/design -your-can. Supermalt.com, design your can. You can look that up. And when you go into the site, you will see it's an invite for, let's say, the global majority. So it's specifically aimed to people who love that supermall, who buy it in crates and who have an association with it. So because of that, it's divided into two areas you should consider for your designs, which are what community means to you, 1, a celebration of your culture, 2, and 3, a personal association or memory that you may have with supermall. So consider those 3. You'll see it on the website when you're making your design. Now, there'll be a winner chosen from each of those 3 topic areas that people choose to do. So, apart from getting your design on the can, which is historic, you also win, 3 winners also win an iPad 11-inch, Apple Pencil Pro, MacBook Pro 14-inch, 1 year's membership at Tate Gallery, 1-day mentoring seminar, a ticket to Where Are the Black Designers Conference in August, and designs featured on merchandise for Supermall WGLA, like t-shirts and stuff. And Carnival, there's something special going on where WGLA are involved, around Power Square, I believe, where you'll get a chance for your images to be portrayed on a big, massive wall there. It's serious, it's special, it's for us. So all you creatives, get those juices flowing.
So is it all age groups?
From 18 above.
Oh,
And it closes on the 27th of April.
27th of April, so it's a supermall competition. You can enter. This competition is for anyone who identifies as being part of the global majority and is a UK resident. Guys, get your passion going. What are they looking for? Looking for a design. In your own way, the design should respond to one of the 3 prompts and show originality and self-expression. So the design requirements are not incredible, prescriptive, as we were interested in seeing people. So your own interpretation. So it's your own interpretations, guys. Get involved, and it is going to be a design. The winner of the competition, the prize is going to be amazing. You've heard that there's an iPad, a Pro Pen, a MacBook Pro, 1 year Tate Gallery membership. There is loads to be winning in this one competition. So you need to get designing. Contact me here on the studio on 07 956 548 781. We're also going to find out from Zaman. I think there might be. Is there a video ad for this already? Because we shared the video ad.
Yeah, if you follow me, Demel _ the artist, you'll see on Instagram and TikTok, the social media platforms, also Supermall platforms, and the WGLA platform, the Coral Consciously platforms. There's about 5 videos that we judges, and one of the judges, have done to let you know more about it.
How's your name being spelled?
DAMEL.
Can you just repeat that address you gave?
For my address?
Yeah.
Yeah. My social media handle is DAMEL _ the artist.
The artist.
Right. Demel Carriol ST is YouTube and Facebook, and my website is all the W's, demel.life.
Demel, carry on. Boy, I don't know. We haven't even done the activism. We haven't done the songwriting, but we're gonna come back. We're gonna arrange for you to come back, and there's probably some other stuff that might happen.
Yeah.
But today's show, guy, was entitled "Music to My Ears." I want to hear from our final guest if he has any final words before we start rounding up. Is there any final words? Is there anything that you want to? I know I wanted to talk about your activism, but is there anything that you haven't spoken about that in this short space time? You would like to say something, but are you coming back first of all?
Yeah, I think I have to.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So what do you want people to know just about today's show? Anything
about today's show is just putting everything together. Really, it's all everything I feel and I do is based on love. Really, however that sounds to you, the decisions that you make, if you're guided by that feeling. I love people. Right. I don't know if I could say I'm a humanist, we're human, and there's a certain way that we should be with each other, and I'll follow that as a doctrine as best as I can. Love people, so wherever you go, however you be, approach people as an individual, and get who they are first, forget the prejudgment and prejudice, which is very hard to do. You heard something about someone, for example, you think you know them, you don't.
You don't.
So open your mind, approach each other. difficult times that we're in right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably always has been, but we're at a kind of turning point at the moment. So embrace each other, and this is a community radio station, and that's the key word.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so big up the Grenfell community. We'll speak
About that.
another
Yeah.
time, but just to say, yeah, I'm here representing family and people, all the ends and boroughs. Love always, bless.
Sean Killian's got, we've had our very
Sean
own Sean Killian. Can you
Sean
believe
Killian.
that? Our very own Sean Killian. And what wonderful days we had back then at Pop Grove. But listen, we've come to the end of the show. As always, there's never enough time. I want to say thank you to my co-host, Brother Omwale. Are there any final words? You've got like a secondish, like say one. You got a short, sorry. You got a short space of time because we're out, and Charles is up next. So stay tuned in for Charles.
Okay. Well, let me just in the form of a question. To what extent do you work with young people?
Oh wow, okay.
Oh,
Is-
so-
is that-
no, not a question.
Oh.
Because we've got to press play and
Oh,
go.
right, okay,
So that
so
will
that's
take
it.
us into Charles'
Yeah,
show.
okay, I definitely got
So
that.
we can
All right,
talk
okay.
about that afterwards. But if
Yeah,
there's any
because
final words, not a final question.
All right.
Yeah.
Humble apologies. It's been an absolute pleasure. You know, the whole world of the arts is, as far as I'm concerned, is coming home, is coming back to us, because it's something that we need so much as people of African heritage. We need to reconnect with the arts, because for a lot of us, it was academia to the detriment of the arts. And I feel once we reconnect again, we're fully ourselves when we connect with the arts, be it music, be it fine arts, be it all the different expressions. So it's a pleasure connecting with both King and Queen this afternoon. It's humbling. So love and respect.
Kitty Corbin.
Wonderful. Yeah, so to Kitty Corbin, our first guest. There was a message for you on live, you know. It might be from your king. It says, "Look, lovely, my queen." So we wanted to make sure that you got that message. And I want to say to both of you, you've absolutely made my Saturday morning. I don't even feel tired, considering I've had hardly any sleep. But you've both been enlightening. You have both been so wonderfully connected to the things that are so important to me and community, and so I can't wait to be having a chat with you guys after the show. But in the meantime, tonight I got so carried away with all kinds of things that I should have got your song ready. So let me see if I can do this, because let me see. Let's just see if I do open. I got so carried away. I was just chatting, and I was just so consumed by your.
This is it, the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we are going to be playing Heaven, Damel, Carriol. We'll see you next week, same place, same time. In the meantime, we should get our blends.